Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's the Cryptid Huntress. And boy, do we have a fun, interesting show today for you guys. I do have my good friends, Barry Littleton and James Rink, here today with us. And this is going to, we're just going to be a lot of fun, like I said. We have some really cool, hot topics to talk about this afternoon. On Monday, I was able to play a recording of a 911 call out of North Carolina of a pell crawler that jumped on a guy's truck, and he was on the phone with 911 when that happened. And I just had Garrel. Thank you, Garrel, with Midwest Night Watchers. He just sent me a message. He actually sent me the raw recording of that 911 call, and maybe we'll play a little bit of that today, if that's okay with Garrel. I think that's cool. Thank you so much for sending me that, Garrel. And so, we're going to talk about pell crawlers today, and we're going to maybe make some connections with things like the veggie man. Have y'all heard of the vegetable man? and some other creepy crawly creatures out there in the woods. And we're also going to get an update on the meteorite alien out of Panama. That thing is swimming now. Okay. The gentleman named Ken, who so graciously has taken us on a journey on his TikTok channel, has now dumped this thing in a water source in Panama. It looks like a well. I don't know what it is, y'all, but the thing looks like it's alive, and it is swimming. It has adapted to its environment, and it's not only adapted, it's thriving, and it's growing. So is this real? Is this a hoax? I think it's maybe real. Barry thinks it's a hoax. We're going to see what James thinks. How about that? James will be the tiebreaker on this one, but nonetheless, this is going to be a great show. So I'm super excited that you guys are here with us today. Uh-oh. Well, my son's phone's ringing, y'all. I forgot to turn the ringer off. So sorry about that. If you guys can hear that phone, we're just going to go with it. Okay. Golly. Man, it's always something over here. It is the glitch in the matrix, and we do get glitchy, y'all. And if you're wondering why it's so loud, I'm not going to tell you why it's so loud. It's just loud. So sorry about that, y'all. But yes, let's get to our program today. Okay. If you guys would like to follow along with all my shows and everything, please go over to my website. That's thecryptidhuntress.com. You can find all my social media links over there. And the calendar of events, which includes my next event, actually is going to be down in Orlando, Florida. We have James's conference coming up, and that is the Super Soldier Activation Conference. And we'll talk about that a little bit more when we get James up here, and maybe towards the end of the show, we'll get the rundown on the conference. But this is going to be October the 8th through the 12th. So you guys, please come down there and see us in Orlando, Florida. If you guys are available, please get your tickets. And that's going to be a wonderful event. So I will see y'all down there for that. Also, there's several more events. I'm at some UFO conferences coming up, and I'm also at the Molina Bigfoot Festival in November. Okay, so I will see y'all there. And if you'd like to check out my Patreon and my shop, there are links on my website. Okay, let's get to our show. All right, so on this episode, we're looking into the pell crawler phenomenon with many recent sightings across the world, particularly in the United States. We're going to get the update on the meteorite out of Panama that has the world on edge. Is it a hoax or not? The seemingly living alien was released into a water source, appears to be thriving. What does this mean for the future of humanity? Dun, dun, dun. And where did all those samples end up? That's what I'd like to know, y'all. Where did those samples go that he mailed off in the Panama mail service all over the world? All right, let's get to it. Well, of course, I have my good friends here in the studio with me. We have Barry Littleton. You guys can find Barry over at his YouTube channel. That's Barry Littleton. And he has a Patreon as well. It's called Barry Littleton on Patreon. So please follow him over there. And also we have James Rink of Super Soldier Talk on YouTube. And let me go ahead. I'll pull up James first because I see James is ready to go. What's up, James?
Hi, Jessica. How you doing?
Hey, I'm excellent. How are you? It's good to see you.
I'm doing excellent today. Yeah. Having a good day.
Okay,
We've
good.
got great news. Yeah. So the conference is on schedule October 8th to the 12th in Orlando, Florida. So we're inviting all your listeners to come out to supersoldiercon.com and join us in Orlando. So, of course, Jessica is going to be there, and we have about 22 other speakers. So we're expecting a great turnout.
Oh, man. It's going to be so great, James. I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun. And hopefully I'm going to have you back on next week too. And we'll bring some of the other speakers on the show for a show and give everybody kind of a sample of what it's going to be like when we're down there in Orlando.
Yeah. So the conference is 4 days, and the focus, of course, is Secret Space Program. And we also have a lot of psychic healers. We got one lady is a pet psychic, so shout out to Barbara. And we also have Reverend Nancy. There's a bunch of psychic healers, remote viewers. Also, we're going to have Reiki, and we have some vendors that are selling like tensor rings and other. This one guy is selling some kind of cap for PTSD. So anyway, so you should come out to supersoldiercon.com. Now, if you go online, it looks like all the hotels rooms are sold out. But if you book our couples pass, you get a hotel room and 2 VIP tickets. So that's good till October 1st, right? And then we have regular VIP tickets. You get all your meals. That's good till October 3rd. So after that, everything starts. We only have about a week before everything starts shutting down, and so you can join us for that.
All right. Yeah, y'all go get your tickets. I've got the website on the ticker down here, so you guys just check it out. We'll pull it up on the screen at the end of the show as well. So you guys can come join us at that conference. It's going to be awesome. Okay. Well, are you ready to talk about some weird stuff today, James? We always talk about weird stuff. Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. Well, lucky for us, we actually have Barry Littleton here in the studio as well. So let me pull up Barry. Barry, like I said, he's with Barry Littleton on YouTube. What's up, Barry?
Boom. What's happening, Jessica? What's up, James?
I'm good. How are you, Barry?
I'm good.
Great.
Appreciate the invite.
Great show today.
Hanging out. I'm gonna always keep it real, okay? And it's interesting. It's because when we first met, James, it didn't go that well, and I wasn't a fan of yours, and I was rather vocal about that. All right, and then we met each other again in Asheville, I guess a little over a year now, and you really won me over. And it's hard to make a second impression, but you definitely did. And I enjoyed hanging out with you. We even did an interview and stuff. And I'm going to tell you what I told you then when we had a brewski at that place that flooded out, unfortunately. It was a nice place. You're doing really good work, man. And you're expert in what you're specializing in. And I've seen some people trying to take advantage of you. I don't like it. And just keep doing what you're doing, man, okay? I think you're doing a good job.
Yeah, thank you, Barry. So I've known you for a couple of years now. And yeah, first, there was a lot going on early on. I like to go to conferences and do interviews, so I may not have a lot of free time. Maybe I need to get a personal assistant or another partner. But I'm sorry, yeah, I did. But you know what? We had a great time last year at the Starseed event in Old Fort, North Carolina. And yes, it actually did get flooded out during the hurricane. And that's kind of curious. My conference that I did last year in Florida, the hotel conference room and the restaurant all got flooded out after the hurricane too. So what's really going on? I'm not saying we're doing conferences again, but we are inland this year, so I don't see any flooding taking place International Drive, Orlando.
Hopefully no hurricanes are headed that way or anything. Yeah.
I don't think so. Yeah,
I hope
I'm
not.
meditating that clear skies. It's actually one of the slowest hurricane seasons on record. So yeah, we're good.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. Well, hey, we all three get to hang out today. Is this the first time we've hung out on a show together, all three of us?
I believe so.
I think it is. Man, this is history in the making right here, y'all. It is. Cool. But before we get started, I want to thank Peanut Butter and Jelly. Thank you, Jason, formerly Boo the Beagle, and my condolences. Boo has passed away, and so Jason has some new dogs named Peanut and Jelly, y'all. And so thank you, Jason, for that super sticker. I appreciate that so much. I appreciate all your support.
My condolences too. I've had one canine in my entire life, and its name was Boo when I was a kid.
Oh,
it's fascinating.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I love Boo.
Sorry for your loss.
Yeah, I'm sorry for your loss, Jason. Thank you so much for being here. And LB, thank you for that super sticker. I appreciate you too. That is very kind of you. And I'm super excited. We got everybody here, all my moderators. Y'all make this. We've got the best audience, y'all. We really do over here. Okay, well let's get into these pill crawlers now. On Monday, I did play a recording, y'all, of a 911 call out of North Carolina, James, of all places.
Yeah, and I sent you the video too.
So, oh, you did?
Yeah, I sent it to you. So it was near Moores Creek Battlefield.
Yes.
And, I was actually there. Probably I think it was 2 years ago. It was in August. So, and I bought a little Benjamin Franklin coin for my friend. So I mean, I noticed kind of a creepy vibe around there, but it's a battlefield. You're going to have some hauntings going on, poltergeist activity. So why don't you go ahead? Tell us what's going on.
Well, let me give you a little recap in case Barry hadn't heard about it yet too. It's so there's a 911 call. I can probably play a little bit of this 911 call if y'all want to hear it. I did play it on Monday briefly, but this gentleman was driving late one night past that battlefield, James, and it's a Revolutionary War battlefield, y'all. It's not Civil War. This is Revolutionary War. A very pretty famous battle happened there called the Battle of Moores Bridge, right, James? Moores Bridge, I think.
Moores Creek.
Moores Creek.
Yeah,
Moores
I'll tell you
Creek.
what.
Well, there's a bridge there.
How about we confirm that just in case you're right?
Yes, that'd be great. So this guy was driving by. Barry, he passed what he thought was a man with blood streaming down his face. And it was a solid human. He thought there was a person in distress. So he pulled his...
It's Moores Creek Bridge.
Moores Creek
Just
Bridge.
Standing on the bridge.
Standing on the side of the road. And he said that he looked like he was wearing a soldier's uniform, and his head, he had a bad head trauma, and there was blood dripping all down his body. And so he pulled over the truck, and he called 911. And as he called 911, something hopped in his truck, and you can hear it in the recording. And then something banged on the top of the cab of his truck, and it started scratching his truck. And he turned around. He said, "That's not human. It's not human." And the guy he said that there's an interview he did. He said that he took off 80 miles an hour from 0 to 80 and then slammed on the brakes, and the thing went flying over his truck and landed in the road. And then it got up and it ran off into the woods. The way he described it was, it looked like it was almost like human, but its face had been stretched back over its face. It was pale white, and it looked like a pale crawler is the way he described it. I know. What do you think, Barry?
Well, I could be wrong, but those face peelers in Peru, weren't they described as you had some of them that were in the suits, right? And the others that appeared to be like peeled back or something similar to that, I thought. Anyway, but no, that's I mean, I've long since been interested in the pale crawlers, and historically, I'm wondering, are they technically like ghouls? Are they supposed to eat people too, or are they more the zombie type thing? That's what I've always been curious. I've never known. I just know that they come out during the caves, and the things that have been said. And also, my other question would be, are they biblical? Also, are there biblical references to these outside of what we just call demon and things like that? But
good questions. Well, they're often kind of compared to those, okay, to all of them, as a matter of fact. And so they're actually, they are humanoid creatures described as pale and thin, long limbs and claws, large black eyes, They have white pupils that glow in the dark, and they usually make a screeching sound. They're incredibly fast, stealthy, and smart, and they're hyper aggressive, is what they say. Now, there are tales from indigenous tribes that talk about them, and there's also this whole internet sensation. People were talking about the rake for a while as well, and they say that's a made-up term that Creepypasta came up with for some stories, but they say it's based on the pale crawler.
Yeah, I thought they were the same. I thought, yeah.
They're the same, but rake is just a term that was used on that Creepypasta website, I guess. So they are.
Jessica,
Yes.
What's the difference between a skinwalker, I guess it's the pale crawler, right, and a wendigo?
Yes. A skinwalker and a wendigo?
Yeah. Are these like?
Well, a skinwalker is a human that turns into an animal, or through black magic. And then the wendigo, I don't know. The wendigo, listen, there's different, and we're not supposed to say that word too many times, but there's different descriptions of them. And the one that people would recognize would be looks like a skull with like antlers on it, and it's like a zombie body, walking around. But actually, they look more like a pale crawler, according to what I've been told. They look like a white walker or a pale crawler. It's all kind of technical here, and those are the ones that will eat you. Okay.
I've seen some people compare them to like some type of gugwe too.
Really?
Supposed wendigo, screaming gugwe, one of the thinner ones. I just heard that in some reports. Some reports somewhere saying that.
Ooh.
It's interesting.
Oh man. Well, okay, so they're. Ooh, now this is supposed to be what a pale crawler looks like as well. That one looks a little more animal-like there, but they're known to live in caves. Okay, and if you've ever seen that movie Descent, okay, they've got some weird creatures down there in that movie. But this is something that you really don't want to come across. We have encountered maybe one of them in a cave one time with one of my teams, but other than that, I have not heard of them attacking people so much. I haven't gotten a whole lot of reports of them. There are some confirmed reports if you go online, and I'll see if I can find them here.
What happened? What did you see? What happened?
Well, I didn't see it. The guys on my team, when we were up at that Skinwalker cave up in Tennessee, Drewski decided to whistle in the back of that cave. It wasn't the back, it's a deep cave. But they got as far as they could go before the ropes were running out. You don't want to keep going in dark caves unless you're tethered to something. And the rope ran out. And so they were getting back to the end of the rope, literally, and got down there. And there was something, he whistled, and something peeked its head out from behind in the shadows, kind of down the way in the cave. So they did get it on a video, I believe, and it did look like a pale crawler. So that's what they thought it was, but it was because he whistled. And now, listen, James, you probably heard of the old wives' tale, don't whistle in the woods, not at night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen? It's not the Bigfoot that's going to be coming out at you, right? No.
Something will. Yeah, something will. Well, we never know. I mean, they talk about skinwalkers or just anything. I mean, who knows? It could open up a portal for all we know. Something could come out and grab you. Okay. Do you guys want to hear this recording? Okay, let's hear part of it. This is the one that Gerald sent me a while ago. And thank you, Gerald, with Midwest Night Watchers. I'm going to play a little bit of this. It's going to come over my microphone, okay? Uh-oh.
Thought I saw a guy standing on the side of the road bleeding. Okay, where are you at, sir? I'm on 210. I just crossed the Black River. I'm heading towards 53E. I just passed Patriots Lunch. Okay, so you're over near Morse Creek? Yes. Okay. And did you saw a man standing on the side of the road? What the? What was that, sir? That's not human! That's not human! Sir, are you okay, sir? There's something in the bed of my truck! Okay, what's in the road? No, it's not in the road, it's in my truck. In the bed. There's something in the bed of your truck? Yes, ma'am, I just turned on my bed lights for my truck and there's something in my bed. Okay, so when you say something, what do you mean? I just knocked it off of the bed of my truck and went over my roof. Okay, what was it?
All right. and that's all the recording I have right there. He said that it actually fell on the ground. He said that he didn't say this in the recording, but he said in an interview that he had hit it up to 80 miles an hour, slammed on the brakes as hard as he could, and it flew over the hood of his truck, landed on the ground, and it got up and it ran off into the woods. But he did say it wasn't human. I mean, I think that's the coolest part of the whole recording right there. It isn't human. He said that his face was actually pressed up to the glass of the back of his truck. And when he turned that light on, he could see it. So, yes, Hillbilly Herb, do not whistle in the woods. Yeah, it's not a good idea.
So I have some questions.
Yes, what's your questions?
All right. So I looked at the Google map of this area, and it says there is a Conjuring house nearby.
What?
Anybody know about the Conjuring house? It was used for a number of film productions, but you know what Jimmy Payne says?
Oh, yeah.
Like that church was used in the Jeepers Creeper movie, and that was actually that's the church where they buried the bodies. So yeah, and so this is supposed to be like a very haunted site. Is there a connection between the two? You think, or maybe a portal is opening up? What do you think?
Oh, that's wild. Okay, so I didn't know the Conjuring house was in North Carolina.
It just says maybe a Conjuring house.
A Conjuring house.
Yeah.
Well, the Conjuring house that I know about is where I remember I'd interviewed Stacy Brown Jr. on the show a while back, and he's a Bigfooter out of Florida, and he was going there, and I did some remote viewing actually of that place. There's a portal there for sure. If it's the same Conjuring house, it may be different. Okay. But this Conjuring house, we're talking about this, the one they've made the movies on, they've based those movies with Annabelle on and stuff. I think Annabelle's in some of them. But it's a house. There was a family who moved into a very haunted house. Ed and Lorraine Warren had something to do with it. Okay. And actually the family moved to Villa Rica. I was just talking about Villa Rica, Georgia with Wendell last week, who I had on my show. And the family moved to Villa Rica, Georgia, which is not too far from where I used to live. In West Georgia. So, but anyways, super haunted, very demonic, just demonic hauntings. And Stacy said that there were Bigfoot sightings on the property, as well as other creatures out in the woods there as well. So 100%. And, we bring up the whole aspect of the battlefield being there as well. And we have a lot of cryptid reports around battlefields. And I think it is because of the bloodshed and all the trauma that was there. And Barry, you could probably speak on that a little bit about the trauma kind of conjuring up these cryptids, I think.
I think, yeah, definitely. I think also, when dealing with the property like that, a conjuring house, so there's going to be the portal that's there, okay, that could be causing a lot of activity, but you're going to have another one. There are always two portals on a property, and it may be not necessarily in the same house, but somewhere on that vicinity, there's going to be another property. It's almost like a portal. It's like they almost kind of do, in my experience anyway, in some haunted houses, it's like almost like a male and female portal is what it is. And, sometimes you'll get people that'll close the portal down in a house and not close down the other one that's on the property. So the activity continues in just a different way, but that there, and then and to make it better, you have the caveat of there being blood spill on that land. And how much the land holds, not just the blood is a major transfer of information and that type of life energy too, and it's saturated there. So that gives you like a triple haunting potential. That did like Three's Company. without Jack Tripper. Yeah.
It could be. And we have a question in the audience from Peanut Butter and Jelly. Barry, do you think these crawlers are cultural tulpas manifesting physically? Like a tulpa. Wow. That's interesting.
Wow.
It's almost is that like a homunculus? I think I've talked about tulpas before.
I thought so, something like that. I thought they were like the man. I mean, it's quite possible. It's quite possible. I know. I'm trying to remember Credo Mutua's take on tulpas. I know he talked about them kind of when he talked about the the smaller Sasquatch too. Tlouse, Tsklouske, I think it is. But so I'm trying to place in that way.
Would you consider this a tulpas be like a golem or perhaps a Gregor, some sort. What do you
Yeah,
think?
like a golem. Yeah, a golem. A golem. That's kind of like what that the precious thing was on Lord of the Rings, right? Is that a his name was Golem, I think, or something like that. I don't know, or maybe not. Maybe I'm confused.
It embarrasses me to tell you of all people. I've not seen those movies.
Oh, come on.
I've seen none of them.
Yeah.
So a golem is a being created through sand, right? You can animate through mud and clay, sand, and you can create a whole Frankenstein type creature that can do your bidding. It's based in Judaism, original Talmudism ideology. But okay, I'm not the expert. Maybe your expert is in the chat. But okay.
I think on Supernatural they did get a good job of illustrating the golem on a couple of those episodes. I thought, kind of, yeah.
Yeah. This is interesting because Geralt's bringing up old green eyes harvesting bodies from the battlefield. And this is an entity that has been seen on the battlefield in Chickamauga, Georgia, eating the corpses of the dead soldiers there. And this entity is still experienced out there to this day. And nobody knows what it is, y'all. And could it be like a Wendigo or something? Absolutely. It could be anything. Nobody really knows what it is. So my friend Greg with Backwoods Cryptids is my resident researcher up there, and he says they don't know what it is. It could be a dogman, it could be a gugway, it could be a Bigfoot. But I mean, I don't know. It could be something like a golem, potentially.
Well, you remember what we brought up before is that whistleblower who talked me to death in person. He had mentioned that the dogmen, most of the dogmen, those species are intergalactic body parts traders, bounty hunters, like traders of body parts. And it's interesting with the way you described that green eyes. Of all the shows we've done, I think that's the one I didn't have a good reaction to.
You did not.
I just felt bad. The energy around that whole deal. You know what I mean? But anyway, but that's just that funny. So it could have been a dogman type too. And I don't know. Have you heard that before, James? About the dogman?
Well, what was coming to mind, at least with this old green eyes creature, right? So there's been multiple sightings. It's not just the Civil War era at the Battle of Chickamauga. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so if you remember Jimmy Payne's when he was talking about the Jeeper Creeper, he said the creature could time travel, and it was collecting victims from like the 1700s because they found bodies with wooden teeth. And of course, we haven't done that. Nobody does wooden teeth anymore. So I'm wondering if some of these cryptids have the ability. Of course, we know that they're somewhat interdimensional, but they can also probably portal through time. What are your thoughts,
James? Okay, that is fantastic that you're bringing that up because when I was given this as a remote viewing target, old green eyes, the words body parts trader were in my data, right, Barry? You remember that? And it said body parts trading. And Barry, then you brought in the aspect of the galactic body parts trading. I don't know if the galactic was in my data, but body parts traders and organ or body harvesting or something like that. It was all in my data. And now you're telling us this, James. What a coincidence. This is not a coincidence.
Yeah. Well, do you think pale crawlers are connected to the missing person cases in national parks? Maybe that's just part of the problem. It's not the problem, right? There's
absolutely. Yeah, I do. Well, I've had my buddy Nick Sylvester has come on the show several times, and he's had some, I want to say, some inside information. He's got a lot of really great intel when it comes to the cryptids and working with our government. And he says that there are 13 different types of cryptids that do work with our government, whether willingly or unwillingly. And one of them is the pale crawler. So you have to wonder, like, well, what would their role be? Well, assassinations, kidnappings, grabbing people and pulling them through caves and portals. I mean, it can't be good, I wouldn't think, right?
Yeah, like what are its motives? Is it feeding or is it territorial or what? What do you think?
That's a really good question. Well, if they're eating humans, then yes, feeding. Okay. But it seems as though if they are working, which a lot of these cryptids are weaponized in some way, I would think that they're best thing they could do would be like kidnapping, I would think, and stuff. I don't know. They seem kind of scrawny. I feel like I could probably take one on if I wanted to. See, I always look at things like, can I shoot it? Okay. Does it bleed?
Jessica, do witnesses report any like paralysis when they're not around these creatures?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think I remember reading somewhere where they can hypnotize people, but I don't know. I haven't really heard of a lot of accounts of that.
Barry, what do you think?
I haven't heard that, but I would imagine so. It seems like around any of these type of cryptids, they have sometimes almost a Dracula type of effect to put people automatically into alpha state, or even a little deeper. I find that interesting. And Sasquatch have that ability also to kind of make people just, as people come, you feel dumbfounded beyond perception in a way. I keep thinking about what you both were just talking about on the portals, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And how they could also be used for, time travel with these cryptids as well. And, I think often enough, as much as you and I joke around about CERN, Jessica, but everybody's so into the Hogs. Now, I'm not a physicist, all right, but Hogs, Boson. But actually, there's something that's called the Higgs singlet, singlet, And what that is like a scalar particle that they can produce, exotic particle that's more for time travel. So it wouldn't be much to introduce that element into a normal wormhole to start converting it into more time travel also. Because real time travel is based on closed time-like curves, which is the bending of space, which can be done with either circulating light beams, warp drive. There's several different ways to do it, but that's that's good food for thought, I think. And it kind of takes us into also, would that be part of the weaponizing of portals they would do too, to make them more time travel capable? We talked a lot about the weaponized portals of this planet, and that takes us into the work of John Bredenberg and other people. They talk about using plasma and sound to weaponize portals. Anyway, sorry, just food for thought.
Well, I think that it's important that we bring the element of the use of portals in with the cryptid talks too, because I think a lot of them do utilize the portals. I think probably all of them, for all we know, especially caves. We've gotten in the conversation before about caves being portals as well, right? Barry, you and I've talked about that before.
Yeah. Hey, you remember real quick, because it's so interesting because you had a little bit of crew, little crow, you kind of cloud me on that deal that was the Sasquatch and the Raptor like deal, and the Dogman bodies at LBL.
Oh yeah, I didn't.
And individual said that they had to check. Yeah, you cloud me a little. It's all right.
I thought, man, there's no way that could be real, but Mark thinks it's probably could be real.
Wait, you remember in that story though? One part of it was though. The account was that behind the Raptors was this type of a portal, and it looked almost like a singularity. And the one Raptor of the three kept standing by it, almost sounded like he was guarding it. You know what I mean?
And some describe like a foggy mist when these portals open. And there's a connection to that, just right, Barry. When it's really foggy, they say a portal opens.
And and Jessica, how connected was Green Eyes to? Was that also part of the quote unquote Gugwe from the fog in Yellowstone? Same thing?
Yes. Yeah. The same kind of Gugwe. Yeah. I mean, and that's just a thought. Like that's just something that people have kind of theorized that maybe it's a Gugwe, because Gugways are known to be aggressive to humans and even eat humans. And so that's why maybe this thing is out there that's eating these corpses would be, it's only by deduction, basically. People are like, well, it's eating human body, so maybe it's a Gugwe. But see, here's in my data, whatever I saw, these blind targets are wild. I'm seeing something taking body parts. Okay, so I don't know if it was even eating them. Maybe it was not eating the bodies. Maybe it was taking the body parts. And so, but the only way people could process what they were looking at was like saying, oh, there's something out there eating on the bodies. Okay. So I don't know. I'm just analyzing it with my little self over here.
But that's maybe that's what your data did have harvesting more opposed to eating, correct? I remember that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember thinking, "Oh, gee, great! We're only dealing with the harvester and not a grub master."
I know, right?
Jeez.
That's all. It's just taking the parts. It's not eating them. No big deal. Oh man, but that's wild. You know, I remember we got into that conversation about like, you know, all the body parts that were lost during the Civil War too. I mean, there are buckets and, you know, piles of legs and arms and stuff from when people got shot on the battlefield, they just lopped off their body part and threw it in a bucket. Okay, so I know that's gross, y'all. This is for entertainment purposes only. I'm so sorry, but
that's the most deadly war that America's ever seen.
Yeah,
tragic.
Yes. Well, you know, but even today, talking about like body part harvesting is a huge part of the trafficking problem that we have, and it's where a lot of these missing people are going. So, and this is for entertainment purposes only, but it probably spans throughout time. And it's even during the Civil War. And James, like what you were saying, that Jimmy Payne was referring to was that like these cryptids are they're time traveling and they're getting bodies from different time eras, from different eras in time. And because some of them had wooden teeth. This is just wild that this is all colliding in the show today. All this information. This is just super great. But I did want to make a connection, James, because you did ask about them being telepathic, I think, and or having some kind of hypnotizing effect on humans. Well, it's funny that you asked that because I was actually kind of thumbing through some articles this morning and I came across something called the Vegetable Man. Okay. Have you guys heard of the Vegetable Man? I'm sure you have, Barry. Eat your veggies.
The representations of it look somewhat frightening. And for me, I've always everything I heard, it was kind of correlated to like compared kind of to the Green Man from Europe. And to me, the Green Man from Europe has which often is portrayed like that, or like the Green Jolly Giant, ho ho Green Giant, that thing. But it actually has a lot of proportions or a lot of characteristics of the Sasquatch and the tree connection. So I've often wondered if the Green Man was a type of Sasquatch, and this kind of blends into there. Sometimes it's hard; these classifications might not be the separate things that we think they are. You know, I don't know.
Okay, well, this thing right here had like they call it a psychic parasite. Okay, now, but this has been reported at least one time. They even have a festival, y'all. This is from last year. I found a flyer, the Veggie Man Day. This is out of West Virginia, and they do recognize this thing. This is a artist's representation of what happened to this gentleman. This is back in 1968. On August of 1968, 28-year-old Jennings Frederick out of West Virginia, Fairmont, West Virginia, encountered, I don't know if he saw a UFO first, but he ran into a giant green, let's see, it's an elongated body with greenish skin. Okay, so basically the way that I imagine this in my head was a green pale crawler. Okay, it kind of like a green pale crawler, but it also looked like it was like had vegetation stuck to it. It was almost like it was like part creature, part vegetation or vegetables, vegetables. But it had slender arms and the hands had long needle-like fingers, and it had big eyes and a not vegetable, but vegetal appearance. And so when I think the guy was out hunting, if I'm not mistaken. They said that he stood there kind of like hypnotized by this thing, and it walked up to him and it reached his hand out and it touched his hand and it latched on, and it said, like, it was almost apologetic to this guy. And it said, the communication was 100% telepathic, and it explained to him that it required his energy for sustenance. It needed his energy, and it had to touch him because it was, I don't know if it was going to die or what, but it took the energy directly from his body. And he said that this is a quote, it says, "Its fingers latched onto my hand like needles drawing out energy. A voice in my head said it needed sustenance for me. And within seconds, he felt drained, weak, and dazed. And as fast as he saw it, it released, and then it slipped back into the wilderness," it says. Yeah. And this was I don't think he told anybody for a while, but then when he did do an interview about it, it spread far and wide. And it became a very well-known story out of West Virginia. Another West Virginia cryptid, basically. So I'm not saying this is a pell crawler. It sounds more like an extraterrestrial,
Yeah,
but I
think
don't know.
Extraterrestrial. Barry, what do you think?
What I'm curious, what were his what kind of effects did he have afterwards? Did he any mention of that? Like sickness, or
did he have accelerated aging, for example?
Ooh, it didn't say anything about accelerated aging. So he just said that he was left stunned and he was drained, weak, and dazed. He didn't go public for a long time. And then a UFO writer based out of West Virginia picked up his story and put it out everywhere. But there's no mention of like what happened to him, like health-wise after that. It just says what happened to him as it was happening that day. So it'd be interesting to find out.
Well, it's odd. That it does sound like it could be extraterrestrial, but it's odd. As you told the story, two things that kept coming to my mind was like a messed up reverse swamp thing, or there was another that never made it really to film, but it was comic books, the man thing. And basically both those were scientists that got jacked. But ultimately, they were experiments. And it's interesting when he mentioned that creature and what the representations I saw of it. It kind of made me think of those two creatures. I don't know. Just food for thought. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Well, and thank you, Leah. Leah has a good point. She says, if you have an encounter, be sure to take precautions against radiation poisoning. And yeah, we spoke about that. I've spoken about that quite a bit. Radiation is a big issue. And gosh, we were just talking the other night about like even the greasy handprint that a Bigfoot will leave. Don't touch that because it's got radiation in it. Wow. And you can get very sick from that.
I'd mentioned before, and everything I'd say, I was not incorrect on that when I said that the black-eyed children phenomenon would subside, because I thought it was a warning system. Excuse me. And a lot of the people that had been around one of those or touched one of those black-eyed children, described later on suffering from what to me sounded like a lot like radiation poisoning. That's what made me think they were coming from a timeline that was the future, and they had been coming from one that was like the Garbage Pail Kids, from one that was a timeline that was nuclear war. And I think they were a warning system. I still believe that.
And Jimmy Payne told me that the dogmen can tolerate higher amounts of radiation. They can go through the Van Allen belt as compared to us humans. We will quickly disintegrate. So they can tolerate higher levels of radiation. So just be careful. But in the future, they make great pilots on starships.
Oh, wow.
Do you think that applies to Sasquatch also?
Mm-hmm.
They're more of an interdimensional being. I would say they're not even like really in our physical dimension, but they would have access to advanced technology. They say like they have whole communities right underground, Jessica, where it's people describe they see like pyramids down there, and they watch our TV channels. So they would have access to, I would say, but I don't know. It's a good question.
I think they use the radiation out of the trees to manifest. Trees hold a large amount of natural radiation, as does granite. I just wondered why so much was going on with granite, but also it's the radiation. Granite doesn't hold as much for what they call uranite, which makes uranium, but it holds a lot, which I think is interesting when dealing with all this and bringing it together. And you actually brought my attention to radiation with what your team had discovered. So,
oh yeah, to the team, to our teammates' detriment. I mean, we've lost two of our teammates from severe health problems through potentially through that portal incident. Okay, so they are no longer with us today, and we've always had some of us have had our suspicions that it had something to do with that. And so we've had to even question whether we want to continue our research because of that, because it's very dangerous out there. Radiation plays a huge key in all the stuff that we do out there. And it may just be little spikes of radiation, but my goodness, if you've been out there researching or even just camping and stuff, or even imagine living in a haunted house. Okay, let's just say even a haunted house, like if there's ghost activity and paranormal stuff going on, there's probably radiation happening. There's probably radiation spikes happening in those houses. So, I mean, where does it end and where does it begin? You know what I mean? So,
it makes you wonder how much that has to do with supposedly when you hear those pops and a Sasquatch manifests from a tree and is using it, that they can only do it a couple of times because the tree's completely drained. Does that mean it's just life energy, or does it mean it's a radiation factor? Very good food for thought on all this stuff.
Man, this is a banger of a show today, y'all. I'm just saying, I love connecting some dots. I really do. And it's my favorite thing to do, actually. So I don't know. Maybe there is a connection between the veggie man or the vegetable man, okay, and the pell crawlers. And I mean, maybe a lot of these cryptids and these creatures are way more connected than we realize in some kind of a way. And well, there's another one before we go today. Of course, I've got one more thing I do want to talk about, and that is I want to get James's opinion on this today, Barry, on that the meteorite, the alien out of the meteorite. Are you familiar with this story, James, about out of Panama?
Yes, the creature is definitely not anything from this earth.
You don't think so? Okay.
Yeah, so it's like a black goo type creature. The guy claimed he found it from an asteroid like a meteorite, sorry, not asteroid, but a meteorite that crashed, and it showed like smoke coming out of the hole, right? And I'm like, okay, and then this growth comes out of this tiny little pebble, and then he's feeding it, and he says he feels connected with it, and it's like it's clearly got some kind of symbiotic relationship, because if it's black goo, then he's probably infected, and probably everything in his apartment, and then oh my God, they threw it in the water supply. Oh, Jessica, why don't you know the details of this story?
Oh gosh, I know. Well, okay, so Barry and I have covered this before. We actually talked about it. I had done some remote viewing on this thing, and so what was that, about a week ago, Barry? Has it been 2 weeks now? About a week. I don't remember. It's about a week. Yeah, and we had a pretty intense, I'm going to say, a little debate on it, right, Barry?
Yeah.
It got intense. No, I was honestly exhausted by the time we got done with that show, because I felt like we were going back and forth so much. It was funny. We were having a knockdown drag out on that one. It was fun. I live for this stuff, y'all. I really do. I think it's great, and I think it's great that, like, Barry and I had not talked about the data before the show started, and so neither of us knew where it was going. And we ended up having a really candid conversation about it. And of course, there's a lot of people who do believe it's a hoax. And my data seemed to kind of lean towards, something more real. Okay. And it's not just a hoax. But when I first saw that video, James, I thought it was a hoax. I thought it was a potato that had been spray painted and all that. But I don't know.
The sophistication of the AI. I mean, it had these weird tentacles coming out of it, and it was rotating. And
yes.
I mean, was there any video showing him actually physically touching it?
Well,
yeah,
he was touching it without gloves. And so, and that's what made me think of this too, is like the radiation aspect. And that's what a lot of people are concerned about. It's like, well, he wasn't touching this thing with gloves. Why? And also, why were the authorities not banging on his door?
Exactly.
Oh, never mind that. Let's go release it into the water supply too. No big deal.
Yeah.
Nobody stopped it.
Usually, like the MIB are right on the spot. I mean, because I mean, that's why we have the MIB for problems like this, right? So they're always monitoring the timeline, and there should have been a whole Black Ops crew coming. But didn't something like that happen, Jessica? Like he said, he got shut down, like it was all fake. But what was going on? Why don't you tell us?
Well, so far, okay, so we do have an update. Let me grab my update paper. So we do have an update, and the latest report. Now, okay, and I want to give full credit to this guy. His name is Ken, K-I-N, Ken Panama on TikTok. And we showed his channel on last week's show on Thursday night on the remote viewing show. We showed his TikTok channel. We even kind of showed some videos of it or some still shots, and off his TikTok channel. And let me tell you, there's a lot of people that are glued to their screens watching TikTok right now to see what the next update is from him. And because this has, if this is real, this is very much like Venom from the Marvel series. Okay. And my son told me this is an exact origin story of Venom, is what he told me. He was like, Mom, I don't know what you're watching, but this is Venom right here. He was like, he came in on a meteorite. He was a symbiote, and he needed a host body. Now, the one thing that I've noticed, this thing that has not jumped into a host body that we know of, right? It's just its own, sentient being. It's just its own thing. Like, it hasn't jumped into a body. It doesn't mean it won't if it's real, and it's like Venom. Okay, but okay. So the update is from last Thursday. The last thing we knew that he had it, I don't think that he had released it into the wild. It wasn't until Sunday, Barry. You were on your live show on Sunday, and I gave a breaking news update in the chat. I said, the meteorite alien has been released into the wild. Breaking news. So anybody that was in your chat saw that. It was Sunday. And so he took it to a water, I don't know if this is a well. I don't know what kind of place this is, but it's somewhere in Panama, in his community. He took this alien, if you want to call it an alien, I don't know, or it could be an elaborate hoax as well, y'all. I don't know. But he took this and he put it in the water. And I'm not going to show the video of this, but it has adapted and has started moving. Now, it doesn't look like a fish kind of, but I don't know. What do you think, Barry?
It looks like a fish that's messed up, tied up in seaweed. So I don't know, man. I you know how I feel. So you should get James' opinion. I'm sure he knows more about it than me. I know.
Well, okay. Well, here's the thing. If you look at the video of it, if you actually look from the video, and I'm not going to show the video right now, it moves gracefully. It looks like an animal of some sort. It 100% looks like it's alive. It says part 3 footage of a strange alien.
Little arms swinging out and stuff. Yeah,
it does. It looks like it's an actual, like an animal of some sort at this point. What do you think, James? Have you seen the video of it swimming?
Yeah. So what I see is, like, imagine a bunch of asteroids out there, right? And this stuff is loaded out there, and any kind of organic material. It's a food source, so it's like it's a creature that lives in deep space. So I see it could possibly, like, dissolving whole spaceships. It's a huge problem. It gets on the hull of the ship. So now that this thing has been released into wild, right? It's got a potential unlimited food source. So yeah, well, it'll be quite a contamination team to figure out what to do with that thing. But well, yeah. So tell us, what are you seeing in the remote viewing data?
Oh my gosh. Well, I was seeing it was more like a Venom-like character. Okay. And actually some of the data correlated to the 3-Eye Atlas data, Barry. Remember that? And I was like, in that 3-Eye Atlas data, it was like, and Barry gave me that as a blind target, like 2 weeks ago. And I actually, in the data, I wrote down reptilian takeover. And that V movie, that was in the data. I mean, all that.
Hey, real quick, let's keep going with it, because they have also now tied it to the Miami aliens in the backyard. That and the 3-Eye Atlas is connected to both of those, apparently. Yeah, so big shit for everybody about that too.
Well, some people are making those connections. Okay, some people are, and let's see. So I don't know. Let me go over what I know right now. Okay, this is what I do know. Okay, so the size is growing. Okay, this thing keeps on growing. Its limbs have branched out. It has adapted to its aquatic environment. I don't think it's eating anything. It grows because of the sunlight. I remember that part. It was growing because of the sunlight. It has tendrils. It seems to be intelligent. And in its water source, it seemed, I mean, if this is, it's something real, it's something moving. Okay, I don't know if it's an organism. I don't know if this is AI, but it's contaminating the water supply, I would assume, of that area and all the communities nearby. Like, and that's the thing, like, is this it's an invasive species, and not that it's a species of anything other than an alien maybe, but let's just say it's real. Any kind of invasive animal, let's just say, is horrible for the environment. Okay. And it could have really bad consequences. Okay. Because microscopic like fragments of this little, whatever this is, the AI, of course we're looking at this thing saying, oh, this is going to contaminate the water. But what do you call them? Like, I was going to say principalities, but municipalities, it's about principalities too. But communities they're poisoning our water anyways. This is for entertainment purposes only. But think of all the chemicals that are being pumped into our bodies already. Okay. And all the things that are coming from the sky and those clouds, you know what I mean? Everything is being poisoned. So now we just throw an alien in the mix, pollute the water supply. Why is nobody chastising this guy for doing this too? Like, he shouldn't have done that. If this is a real alien, what is wrong with him? Okay, I'm just saying. It's almost like
nobody's doing anything about it, really.
Nobody.
He might be influenced by now. Maybe he's under its control.
Ooh, good point, James.
Remember he said that he felt strong around it. He felt connected.
He needs it has found the host body.
Yeah. There's a parasitic.
He's setting himself
relationship.
He's setting himself up to be the next Venom, Barry. That's what it is. What do you think?
Can I say something without offending anyone? Okay, honestly.
No. Yes.
We want to be offended. Come on, tell us.
Okay.
Come on. I guess you can offend
I'm
us.
just going to ask both of you, and I'm going to ask the audience, do you all remember P.T. Barnum? And do you remember what he said? His famous quote.
No.
There's one born every second. There's one born every minute. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So I'm going to say.
Oh, well, okay. So maybe we're gullible a little bit. Maybe a lot of people are gullible. In this day and age of AI, this could also be AI. It could be a hologram. It could be anything. Okay. It could be, but we're just kind of looking at this like, what are the possibilities of this? And like trying to look at it from every angle. And I know we're probably giving it way too much attention. Okay. But it's a hot topic right now. So that's what we do. And I am the Cryptid Huntress, so I would not be doing my job if we didn't cover this thing.
Let's get real. James, you know all about the nanogrid, the nano satellite grid. You know all about that, okay? And you know that they can actually pinpoint a match on the surface of this planet or something on my shirt.
Well,
but never mind that. We've got an alien. He's invasive a species that's got a bunch of TikToks. We've got times to make like 16 days worth of video about it, and then release it in the blood, in the water supply, and nobody's doing nothing. No Men in Black, no Will Smith, no Tommy Lee Jones, nothing.
You've got a great point.
No Scully. Where's Scully? Where's Mulder?
I want to mention, so all the chemtrail that's going on, everybody's infected with the nanites, the nanoparticulates, right? So if there's any being that's coming to this planet that's not been affected or sprayed with those chemtrails, they're going to immediately know. There's already like a 3D mapped grid of our entire planet. They know if you're not supposed to be here.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm sorry I giggled because I saw Rose Thistle Artworks comment. Maybe Jessica is being influenced by it. Oh man, somebody slipped a little piece of it in my food at the restaurant the other night. Probably it has entered the host's body. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I think this is really interesting, but like there's so many movies and comics about it, and
exactly.
They've been showing us this for a long time. Barry, you are the king of sci-fi. Okay, like all the old shows and TV shows and movies and that involve stuff like this, and this is going back way farther than just Venom, right?
Oh yeah, I mean there's several things. I noticed that the people are trying to give it the fungi and that fungi or algae
and the coral
component. And that takes us into things like the Seeds of Doom from Doctor Who. That was a 1975 episode. where in Antarctica they find these pods that came here that were ejected here from space, and they contain these creatures called crinoids. And the crinoids were actually a hostile invasion species of plant that on their planets where they get established, the plants eat the animals. Okay, so that's one aspect. And also that takes us into the thing. The thing was found underneath the permafrost in Antarctica too, right? And was it not in like an asteroid pod or something like that? They first immersed it. And then the other one that we mentioned on your show, which is something I think one of the Jodie Farrell, which is really Stephen King from Creep Show, the first Creep Show when the meteor landed and he got meteor shit, that deal, and then everything went green on him and he turned into like a crinoid type of thing. So it's always been a premise that's been established. Hostile.
How about The Thing? The movie The Thing? The Thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Blah, that grew.
And what scares me is they're using premises that I believe is true things, which is hostile microorganisms that come in on meteorites. Okay, but they're embedded down on the surface. They're embedded, and when they break open, it causes things. I believe things like prion diseases and other things that it starts kind of orchestrated. The red rain, okay, the things like that, and it's starting to bring into our atmosphere, and it's a war. You still got. I don't think Project Stardust still exists. I think they're doing something else now, but that was that colloidal bucket that they brought back to Earth, and you could actually get in there, get online, and get into electron microscope and try to find a track. They would name it after you. But if you're dealing with the collective species on the microorganism level, and you're grabbing them like that out of space and bringing them back here and doing experimentation, that's war. And I think we need to take that serious. So, when we talk about turning this panspermia thing dark into something different, that might be what we're dealing with here. And I think they're playing with that very concept and humans' fear right here with that deal. And I'm also curious, you might know, James, what is ferromagnetics fluid activity in water? What does it do in water?
I think maybe you should answer that question. I see a connection with maybe red mercury and but that's all radioactive. Contaminate. Yeah. What do you think?
I don't know. I'm just curious, because to me that looks like a really elaborate deal that they could do at a movie studio. To me, and anybody that's a filmmaker could put that up, and everybody's not wanting to talk about what those makeup artists said and how they could probably do that, and will one of them do it? But secondly, what could they do that will mimic that in the water? I mean, I just see too much of that on film, and those makeup artists were saying too, these people are using some type of AI too, some sort of an app or something to make it. I found it interesting, so I want to see. And secondly, before I shut my mouth, why is not one scientific institution or scientists of the many people that got samples of this saying anything? We've heard nothing. Not one paper, not one other. Mm-hmm. What's going on with that? That's red flags.
They're cabal organizations. They're not going to talk about it because it's ruin their career.
Well, they did have those guys in their hazmat suits show up, Barry.
That would make a career to prove that. It would make a career. At very least, for the publicity you would get. If it's right or wrong, somebody gonna say something, brother. Come on.
Yeah. I think so.
Today's age, with the way communications are, you can't shut everybody up right now. You can't do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay. So what I was reading today was that the guy's his viewers, he's got millions of, I don't know if he's got millions of followers on TikTok, but he's definitely got millions of views. And some of his viewers were saying they were actually going to make a trip down there and go see this thing for themselves. And so we'll see. I mean, like I said, it could all be just one big elaborate hoax here, but who knows? I mean, to me, it kind of was looking like one of those fighting fish. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like where you can't put them both in the aquarium together because they'll fight. It's like with the beautiful fins that are like flowing. I forgot what they're called. I just call them fighting fish. But it kind of looks like that right now. But the only official reports are like reports of officials being there. Beta fish. Thank you, Dottie. Beta fish. Yes. The only officials that have shown up really were those guys in the hazmat suits. Barry, you and I talked about that. And it's like, well, okay, so they got guys in hazmat suits. That makes it official.
That was about the
maybe.
best part.
Yeah.
The little patches. You could research the patches.
That's right. That's right. You did your research on those patches.
Yeah.
But now they're saying that there are other officials that have reached out to speak with him about it, but nobody has come to confiscate it. And James, and we all know, we think we know that if you had something that incredible, the MIBs would show up and grab it. Okay.
Yeah, the military will be on board. They'll cart it off the site. They'll be having a whole crew of contamination units come in there and extraction units, and then of course they'll have to probably sterilize the site. Right? They'll probably come up with some cover story. Oh, there was a factory explode. Oh no, it would be a factory. It'll be a truck spilled a bunch of cyanide gas or something. They'll have to. Yeah. So the fact that it's still there, that does give Barry a good point, because maybe there's a way we can analyze the clips, run it through some kind of filter, and see if it's AI generated. There's got to be a way to do that can maybe help shed a light to this issue.
Yeah. I mean, or it could be like something mechanical, like some kind of robotic thing that the guys just, who knows? To me, it does look like, I don't know. It looks like a fish. Barry, you made the comment. I thought that was really interesting because you made the comment. You said it looks like something is attached to a fish, I think is what you said before we were live today. And and that's a good point. Like it could be like they could have taken a fish and putting like a rubber outfit on it or something. So like make the fish like go swim around with this. I know. I'm just speculating, y'all.
It's kind of weird that the head of it looks like it could be.
Yeah, I have to go. Yeah, I've got to go. It's my 2 o'clock.
Just like my doorbell, man.
I'll see everybody later.
Thank you, James. Thank you for being here, James. We'll see you. We'll see you next week. Okay.
Yeah, come to the Super Soldier Activation Conference, October 8th to the 12th, Orlando, Florida. SuperSoldierCon.com. We still have a few more VIP tickets. I think there's maybe 4 left, and then you can get yourself a couples pass. That includes the hotel room. Thank you, guys. SuperSoldierCon.com. I'll see you all in Orlando. Goodbye, everyone.
You're the best. Thank you, James. Bye. Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. I couldn't get that out of my head. Like when you said that looks like a fish that has something attached to it, I thought, man, that could also be what that is too. I mean, if we're looking at like a hoax kind of a scenario on it.
Well, it kind of looks like the fish, like the head of it is like the tail kind of covered up, and maybe it's going backwards as far as like the stuff attached to it, and that stuff kind of looks like seaweed to me. And the reason why I asked about ferromagnetic fluid, what it does in water, because it looks like it has the tentacles and stuff. Does that look a little bit like seaweed to you? And you see what I'm saying about the tail? And it's not, you can't really see it as much in that one, but it looks like that would be the tail of the fish going back, just covered up in something. I could be very much wrong, but as somebody that's seen so many cool movies, I'm sorry, I can't buy this. I've seen too many movies cooler, and that something looks like some genius, a production from people that are going to make a bunch of money off this in some sort of studio, in a film production.
Working. It's working.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's going to buy himself a new vehicle after this or something.
I mean, it's in the water. It's the water, for Christ's sake. It's in the water. Is nobody going to do nothing about that? Where are the hazmat guys now?
I mean, okay, here's my first reaction to it. Like I'm seeing that, I'm like, somebody needs to go burn it. I'm sorry. Just, go burn it. Get the blowtorch, man. I don't know. That thing should not be in any water source. If that is an alien life form, I'm sorry. I love life. I love all creatures, big and small, but that right there could be it could take over the world, and let's just go ahead and nip it in the bud, y'all. Okay. So somebody, I'm not calling for violence on this thing, but I'm saying somebody needs to do something about that.
On a serious point though, like I said, I do believe that such things do exist definitely and probably are a threat. But the question is that one of those things? I don't think so. I think it's playing on our fears. But I'm not at all trying to say like such thing doesn't exist. And especially when you start looking at things like I've said before on the last show, the first season of the X-Files, they dealt with that type of really a black goo that was actually, they kept saying, were the gray in their primary form without their suits on. Now with Credo Mudo, we know that's not actually accurate. He said they're actually a blob of pink flesh looking thing, is what he said, with these vessels all in them. look like blood vessels all in them or something. Yeah, and he talked about that type of tree they use to cut open the chest of one because they can't get through those suits. Certain type of wood will get them through. They make somebody in your chat will know. It goes beyond my knowledge. But anyway, this point being that comes up there, or even I think the movie that I couldn't think of last time, I think it's Prometheus, that they start talking about where the actual xenomorphs come from, and they start representing them as beginning as some type of a black fluid type thing. So I mean that kind of goes into our subconscious, goes into the Wetico, the mind virus, all into these things. But it's too bad because it also takes us into something that I told you before, that is dark microbial matter, which exists in the deep biosphere of Earth, which is I looked up recently, they were saying there's like 99% of Earth's undiscovered bacteria and fungal components. And I don't want, all melanin dominant substance to get such a bad rep because of this black goo stuff. Such things like the radiotropic fungus that uses melanin to convert gamma radiation into the Earth, the growth cycle. We got to keep, we can't throw the bathwater out with the baby. How do you say that? The baby
or the alien water out with the alien. Just kidding.
The alien, the water out with the face hugger, the face hugger.
The face hugger. It is starting to morph into something that looks more like something out of Alien versus Predator. It really does. It looks like a mix between an alien and a predator. I'm just saying. Yeah. I don't know. Like, what would the next generation of this thing be? Like, let's talk about the next gen. Okay, because we've had the symbiote. Okay. And then it started the potato. Okay. Started off with the meteorite. And then it sprouted into what looks like what is that? The devil's fingers, that fungus.
That's what it was called. On my live, I was trying to remember the name of it. Devil's fingers.
It's devil's fingers.
I thought it was a good comparison when you pulled that up.
Yeah. So it started off like that, like the tater invader is what Cryptidville called it. And then it started morphing into something that was like just this black mass. And then he kept it in a locked safe, because he said if you put it in anywhere near sunlight or any kind of light, it started to grow. So he put it in a locked safe, and he'd open up the safe with no gloves, no nothing. And it looked like it was moving around. To me, it looked like something like some kind of graphene oxide or something. Okay. It just looked like something that was like AI to me. I mean, not that it was like an AI fake video, but like something that had like some kind of intelligence to it through like AI, maybe. I don't know.
Well, what those makeup people said was what? Polydimethylum or whatever, with some sort of hexane or hethane that makes it expand and will make it look like it's growing and also breathing at the same time. That's what they were saying.
Yes.
But to me it looked like that, but also that one looked like also something that you can put magnetic fields near that ferromagnetic fluid and it will do all sorts of stuff. You know what I mean? So it wouldn't take a few magnets in that thing to, I don't know, it's just food for thought. Like I said, this could all of course be totally real, but my spider sense are a tingling. Yeah, the red flags are shining.
It almost kind of looked like a water dragon or something too. I don't know. It's unlike anything I've ever seen, but it literally looks like it has legs on it when it's swimming. It looks like it's got like little legs and hands on it. I mean, I don't know where this is going, y'all, but it's getting really super weird. That word, that substance you were talking about is polydimethylsiloxane, PDMS. I totally pronounced it wrong. A silicone-based polymer mixed with hexane. So that's what you're talking about. Yeah. That's it.
To be honest, I'm sure they could do something a little better than that. With some added things, with some added CGI and all sorts of stuff. The
video is pretty great. I
didn't mean that. I'm talking about with what the makeup artist said, what you just read off. Yeah. I'm sure they can add something else to that to make it a little more dynamic, to more like what we're seeing there. That obviously needs to be released into a public water source. That's the first thing you do when you get a dangerous organism. Put it where it reminds me of Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh, who is now convenient Osho the mystic. But he got in trouble because those cats are trying to poison that water supply. They're trying to poison that water supply. People ain't talking about that. He was doing more than just the freak parties. He was doing some freak parties.
Oh my gosh. Oh no.
The Rajneesh Foundation. It was freaking hard, man.
Oh my gosh. I know who Osho is. So that's the same guy, huh?
Yeah, Bhagwan Sri
my
Raj
gosh.
Nation, Osho are the same person. I'm telling you. Look, if
Yeah.
I'm wrong, everybody compare the pictures of those two individuals and tell me it's not the same person. And Bhagwan's been dead for God knows how many decades now. But interesting individual, because some of his early books, like when my brother first came back from L.A., like in the early 80s, mid 80s, you know, he had these books. He had a bunch of Rajneesh's books. And I was going down there and stealing them and reading them. I was tearing them up. The Book of Secrets, it's full of loaded with stuff, looking techniques and stuff you could actually try that goes back to pranayama, yoga, and things like that. That I was into trying stuff. I wanted to see if I could blast my third eye open. I didn't realize it was already open. Anyway, point being, all for fun, you know, entertainment only.
Oh yeah. Entertainment purposes only, y'all. Yeah, I'm trying to pull up this video, Barry, before we go today. And it's I don't know if this is going to play or not. Here we go. Okay, this is from Ken Panama on TikTok, you guys. And I don't know if this is going to play. Uh-oh. Let me turn that off. Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm trying to turn the volume off, y'all. Okay, my computer is... There we go. This is from his TikTok channel. My computer is slow, so it's not actually showing it. Y'all are going to have to go to TikTok and watch this, okay? It's not showing the video. It's just showing like snippets of it because my computer is all screwed up right now. But that's it. It's Ken Panama. You see it here on the screen, y'all. And follow him out of Panama. And yeah, I'm just going to stop sharing that. But yeah, that was a fail.
I hope I didn't just get in trouble for the Osho stuff. I'm about to really just piss somebody off. They might be a follower. So I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just joking around. Sorry.
Well, Barry, we didn't do our job if we didn't upset somebody today. Okay. That's how we roll. Okay. But yeah, Leah says she avoids TikTok. Yeah. I say if you can't avoid TikTok as well, it's fun to go in, but you get sucked in like you're in a black hole. Sometimes it's talk about time traveling. I don't know. My time goes out the window when I get on TikTok because I don't know what happens. It's dangerous getting on there. But Ken Panama on TikTok, if you guys want to see that full video and all of his videos that lead up to the release into this water supply, which is the dumbest thing he could ever do, in my opinion. No shade to Ken Panama, but man, you could have done better, man. I'm just saying. So I don't know, Barry, what do you think? You got any final thoughts on all this crazy stuff today between the pill crawlers, the green thing?
Get off TikTok and get off Instagram. Instagram must have ruined a million marriages. Anyway,
probably.
I don't know. I think we covered it pretty well, honestly. I don't believe it's real. I think, but if it was, and regardless, it would be a major health risk, and I think it should be taken much more serious than just people wanting to view it and then discussing it the way we're doing it. I think should be in containment. You know what I mean? But that's kind of where I'm at with that. So I'm hoping definitely all the red flags and my spider sense is correct, and it is a fake, and it does not prove to be real. But I'm also waiting to see what time yields still. But we said that last time. That's been almost a week ago, and nothing's come up, but it's been put in water now. But we've heard nothing scientific yet or anything real. You know what I mean? That's the issue I have. So
why didn't he just like take it to the circus or somewhere and just like put it on display? Like a traveling sideshow. Like I think it'd be better off there than at a public water supply or whatever. Well, and I mean, I don't even know exactly what that building is. Like it's like a building with water underneath it, and I don't even know what that is. It's just some kind of local watering hole.
Well, you've got enough people that have been sent samples. All they got to do is go put it outside in the sun, and it should get real big. So we should be seeing all sorts of samples all over the place real soon. No, seriously, I'm not trying to be funny. It's not hard to grow it.
That's true.
I'm just doing some light, So we'll see.
That's
time will tell on this. So yes. Somebody, we know too many people that have been bitten by the fame bug to think that nobody's going to want to get famous behind that piece of substance, behind Ken Panama or Ken whatever his name is. Somebody will say
Yeah.
something and grow that thing and say, "Look, I've done it. Here it is." A big old thing in a closet moving around.
Oh my gosh. Damien said he sent it to take back the Panama Canal. Oh my gosh. Well, the guy's from Panama. So yeah, that is too funny.
Oh gosh.
And William Nighthawk, what's up, William? He says because he's making money off of viral video. Yes. He's definitely
whoa, no
he's
way,
definitely
William.
making
What?
some
Making
cash.
money?
He's making good money off that too.
Oh, no way, you guys. Come on now. He's doing it for the people.
Yes. Why? What it says? Why
For the
would
water
we touch
supply.
it? Yes, I know. Well, listen, just think of all the different people though that would. I mean, this could easily. I'm not going to say easily be hoaxed, but there's going to be other cases when they see like how this went viral. I can only imagine all the other cases of stuff like this that are going to start popping up, and some of them, or most of them, will probably be fake. Okay, but who knows? I mean, who knows? It's just something we're going to have to keep an eye out for and keep our ear to the streets. And y'all know that we do that on the Cryptid Huntress channel. And Barry, I'm bringing you along for the ride because you really make it way more fun when we talk about it.
I appreciate it. It's cool hanging out with you and James, getting to see and rap with him again. I'm glad you're going to be presenting at his conference. I think it gives a good level deal, different types of people. It's cool.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yes. Well, Barry, tell everybody where they can find you over on your YouTube channel, your Patreon stuff.
At the Wacky Shack. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm Barry Littleton on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Instagram, and on Patreon also. And you can email me at barrylittleton13@gmail.com. I'm actually a day behind on emails, but I'll be getting back to everybody here today. And services offer I do readings, but more importantly, I do different modalities of hypnosis, earthbound spirit release, past life regression, ET regression, trauma release, stuff like that.
All right. Thank you, Barry. Y'all go over to, and you can contact Barry at barrylittleton13@gmail.com. Right, Barry?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Awesome. And also you guys, we did have James Rink here. He had to go. He got a pizza delivery or something. I don't know what happened. He had a doorbell ring. I think he had an appointment today actually. So he left the show a little bit early, but I think we're going to try to bring him back on next week if we can. And he's with Super Soldier Talk on YouTube. And so you guys go check that out, and then be sure to go to his conference. I will be there coming up on August. What month is October? October the 8th through the 12th. And people like Carrie Cassidy will be there. Myself, we got Sherry Divban, a good friend of mine, is going to be there. And Christy Campbell was in our chat on Monday. And there's just a whole bunch of great people on there. And also
Dr.
before we
John.
go, Dr. John, well, I don't know if Dr. John's going to make it, but he's on the flyer. But one last thing, y'all, if you want a good idea for a costume, I've got one for you. Let's all be rakes this year. You guys want to be rakes?
God.
Barry, listen, if I were to wear spandex, I would be this, but I quit wearing spandex back in my 20s. Okay. So you will not catch me dead in this outfit. Okay, literally. Pardon the pun. But yeah, you can have your kids dress up like rakes. Imagine the fun that would be if all of our kids dress up like rakes for Halloween this year. All right. Well, this has been a great show. This has been a lot of fun, y'all. I hope everybody enjoyed the show today, and I want to thank everybody for being here. Oh my gosh. Everybody's so fun. Thank you, Peanut Butter and Jelly, for the super sticker, and LB, thank you for that super sticker as well. Y'all come back and see me tomorrow night. Yes, just C Duke says y'all would look great in that. Whatever. It's so funny. I don't wear spandex. I don't think Barry and I are probably not wearing spandex. We're above 40.
I was pretty traumatized in the world with that. That's like being in a bathing suit, like David Hasselhoff trying to suck it up Baywatch.
Oh my God.
No, thank you.
No amount of space would allow me to wear a rake spandex costume. I'm just saying. Okay. I'm telling you, after 40, you probably should consider not wearing all spandex. I'm just saying. That's for everybody. But you guys have a wonderful day. Come back and see me tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Robin says spandex banned for sure. Yes. And I will see y'all back here tomorrow night. Y'all have a wonderful day. Please stay safe out there, and watch out for swimming, robotic looking Venom aliens that came out of a potato. All right. Thank you for being here, Barry.
Hey, no
It's
problem.
always so
Thanks,
fun.
Jessica. Take care.
All right. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye, y'all.